An American revolution in talk TV is here. NRA News, Cam and Company on Sportsman Channel.
Right now, I want to welcome to the program from Reason, Mr. J.D. Chuchilli. J.D., how are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's good talking to you again. You've got a piece at Reason.com. Connecticut should not be surprised that, quote, fewer people than expected have registered their guns. This is one of the new provisions in Connecticut's new gun control laws, right? That some gun owners have to register their, quote-unquote, I don't even like saying it. They've got to register their semi-automatic rifles, basically.
Right. I mean, what Connecticut lawmakers refer to as, we'll use our scare quotes here, assault weapons. That's always an arbitrary definition. But we know they're referring to scary-looking semi-automatic rifles. And also high-capacity magazines are supposed to be registered, too, in Connecticut. And they've set a deadline of December 31st of this year. After that, they won't accept any more registrations. And so far, they've had, as of mid-November, I think it was 4,100 applications for registration forms. But that's a small percentage when you consider that most states estimate they have anywhere from a few 100,000 to this talk in New York, anywhere from 200,000 to a million so-called assault weapons. Even if there's a little bit of variation in the definition of this kind of a rifle, that's a small percentage of what's actually in the state.
Yeah, and so you say, again, Connecticut should not be surprised because when these registration schemes go into effect, what happens typically is that many people choose not to register.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the highest compliance rate I've ever seen dates back to the 70s when Illinois implemented their registration law for handguns, and an estimated 25% of handgun owners complied. Since then, the high estimate for compliance with California's assault weapon registration law was up to 10%, with the New York Times actually putting it closer to about 3%. And again, no one really knows how many weapons of a sort that are required to be registered in any given state before they're registered. But they do have a rough estimate. And California estimated in the hundreds of thousands, and many fewer than that were actually registered. Only about, back in 1990 in California, about 7,000 rifles were registered, according to the New York Times, out of 300,000 estimated in private hands. When New Jersey banned their assault rifles, they had a very low compliance rate, and a ban is different than registration, obviously. But New Jersey, in 1991, estimated there were anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 firearms affected by the law. So you're talking about very low compliance figures with, affected guns of the sort, probably up in the hundreds of thousands in the state of Connecticut. No one ever sees a very high compliance rate with these.
NRA News, Cam and Company, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sportsman Channel.